Hey guys, welcome to my ADTF guide. Let's jump right into it. AD Twisted Fate is a very unique playstyle and variant of the AP playstyle. It is a lot more oriented towards solo carrying, assassinating, and side lane dominance. So you want to destroy your games single-handedly and try out a new fun playstyle? Look no further. AD Twisted Fate is not easy to master. However, his playstyle is incredibly rewarding and will make you a better player overall, macro-wise, and also teach you correct positioning. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the runes and items. You can run both of these pages depending on the matchup you're playing. Bone plating can be useful in specific matchups, however I do find the sorcery tree to be stronger overall. Adapt the rune shards as you please, and try different options to see what you prefer. Items. As for AD Twisted Fate's itemization, I will try to keep it simple. Rush Noon Quiver if you can, or Berserker Greaves depending on the amount of gold you have. Usually, Berserker Greaves is a better option, but Noon Quiver can be better for better wave clear. Kraken Slayer, into Infinity Edge, into one of the 4 options as shown on the screen. Pause the video if you need more time to look at it. Make sure to level up your abilities as shown as on the screen. You want to prioritize maxing E, since it gives you a massive boost of attack speed as well as more damage, as shown right there. 40% permanent attack speed is massive. That gives AD Twisted Fate a huge increase in DPS. For summoner spells, I recommend going Barrier in most games. You can look to go Ignite against free matchups or Cleanse if it's really needed. Early game. You should look to play passive against ranged matchups and get your first component item or Berserker Greaves. In this example, you can see that I'm generating a massive lead by not even interacting with my opponent. That's because I started cool against this Malzahar, and I got a massive amount of gold by just farming well and killing his minions, generating even more gold thanks to Twisted Fate's passive. To increase the amount of gold generated, I went coal, futures market, and also free boots. To make it simply, this is the amount of extra gold I generated in 10 minutes without even trying to kill my opponent. 450 extra gold from coal, 600 gold from Twisted Fate's passive, 300 gold from free boots, 150 gold from futures market, 180 gold from selling coal. That brings us to a total of 1680 extra gold in 10 minutes without ever killing anyone. Of course, that doesn't mean you need to play safe at all times. You can definitely look to kill your opponent if you see a window to do so. Mid to late game. In the mid to late game, you want to prioritize split pushing, getting camps, scuttle, and create side lane pressure. Make sure to understand your matchups correctly so that you won't be taken by surprise. AD Twisted Fate does have a few hard counters that you can't match in the side lanes, so playing on the opposite lane would be preferred. If you're fed enough, you can deal with most matchups, but be careful with champions that have Cleanse, QSS, or Michaels following with burst damage, as AD Twisted Fate can get bursted out pretty quickly. I will put on the screen the counters that you need to watch out for in the side lanes. Pause the video if you would like to look at them for a longer time. Matchups. Here are the matchups for AD Twisted Fate from hardest to free. You need to play according to enemy's strengths and weaknesses, and also understand the enemy's jungle you're playing against. Again, pause the video if you would like to look at the matchups for a longer time. If you're against a low threat enemy jungler, playing aggressively against your laner and looking to push is okay, as long as you play your matchup correctly. However, overextending against high threat enemy junglers can really ruin your game if you're getting punished by them. Positioning. A really important aspect of AD Twisted Fate in teamfights is that you want to play as passively as possible. Remember that you're a mid lane ADC with no mobility whatsoever, so most of the time you have to wait for the enemy to engage onto your team in order to freely DPS them. Let's take a look at an example. In this situation, we are against the Jax, Fizz, Jarvan, Miss Fortune, and Soraka. We have a good amount of peeling from Gragas and Singed, Ashe ult and Sona ult. However, the preferred situation is that we want to wait for Jarvan's and Jax's engage before we really start DPSing in the fight. Also, we want to be careful of Miss Fortune's ult, and once all the threatening abilities are done, we can look to force a fight in order to take them down. It's always vital to understand what the enemy's abilities are and how they can punish you. Your positioning needs to be perfect, and you also need to anticipate enemy flashing on you. Here, we know we can gold card a Jarvan, but not a Jax or Fizz during their E ability. You will be rewarded for positioning well, remember that. And that's it for this guide. If you enjoyed it and learned something from it, leave a like and subscribe. If you're looking to get coached, make sure to visit my Discord server down below. Good luck, guys.